दीपक सर स्टार्ट करिए।
ओके my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's start the session. Good evening, everyone. I welcome all of you in the Vision Arcadia event. This is the event in the collaboration of Robotronics Club and Command Prompt of IIT Mandi. On the behalf of Robotronics Club, I'm going to give you the introductory session on Raspberry Pi. Before starting this event, this session, I would like to know you that this session is divided into two parts. First one is hardware part and second one is programming part. So I'm going to take the session on the hardware part. First question arises in mind that what is Raspberry Pi? So you can look on this image. Raspberry Pi is a small credit card sized board that has lots of applications. Suppose you are thinking of IoT, making a small computer, you want to use it as a server and different robotics application, you can use this small Raspberry Pi board. You can make health monitoring system with Raspberry Pi board. You can make different robotics stuffs with Raspberry Pi board. You can do IoT with it. You can implement the Raspberry Pi board on the agriculture projects. You can do the coding, such as you can use the Python in the Raspberry operating system of Raspberry Pi board. Now, let's know about some history geography of Raspberry Pi board. The Raspberry Pi board was developed by the Raspberry Pi Foundations. The first model was introduced in 2012, that is Raspberry Pi 1 Model B, and it was made for the purpose of education only for the children, for the students. So the student can buy the small budget, so student can buy the computer in the small budget. But the, due to the vast applications of the Raspberry Pi board, it go beyond the academia. And in the 2013, it has been developed to Raspberry Pi 1 Model A, and by the development of processor, clock speed, and its application, now we have the latest Raspberry Pi 4 Model B, which can be available in 2 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, and it can, this small Raspberry Pi board can be used for multiple purpose. Now, the question arises in our mind, we were using the Arduino board, and now why to use Raspberry Pi? What are the limitations in Arduino board that we can't do here and we can do in the Raspberry Pi board? There are lots of limitations in Arduino. Suppose you want to connect your Arduino board with the Wi-Fi. You want to have the internet connection in Arduino board, then you want to have another module, that is Node MCU ESP8266. You need to connect, you can provide the internet to your Arduino board by this. And if you talk about the Raspberry Pi, it has inbuilt Wi-Fi system. This is the one comparison. And suppose you want to connect your Arduino board with the Bluetooth, so you need to have the SC05 Wi-Fi module to have Bluetooth communications. But if you talk about the Raspberry Pi, it has inbuilt Bluetooth system. If you talk about the display, then Arduino boards only support the traditional display. And if you talk about the Raspberry Pi board, it can use any of the display. It can be connected with your LCD, your LED, your laptop screen, any type of a screen. It can be connected with it. So there are lots of limitations. And if you talk about the processing, for processing, it used the integrated circuit IC, but it have the powerful processor. So to play the video and to do AI-based applications, we need high processing speed. So we recommend Raspberry Pi board for that type of projects. That's why there is called BAP. BAP hota hai. It means Raspberry Pi is the BAP of all Arduino boards. Now let's explore the Raspberry Pi 4 board. And this is the Ethernet port. Suppose you need to give the internet to your Raspberry Pi board, then what we need to do, we need to connect the Ethernet cable from your router to this port, and your board Raspberry Pi board will get internet. You can connect your mouse, keyboard, any external devices with work on which have the USB communications. Then we can connect from here. This is the USB 3.0 port. This is a USB 2.0 port. Accordingly, you can connect your devices to it. And this is the 3.5 mm audio video jack. You can take the audio video output from here. And this is our camera. Suppose you are working on the OpenCV and you need to have the camera, then you can install your camera, Raspberry Pi camera from here. And if you want to have the external display, suppose you want to connect your monitor with the Raspberry Pi board, then what you need to do, you need to connect with the HDMI cable. Just plug the HDMI cable here and one side to your monitor, and you get the display what is happening inside the Raspberry Pi board through that cable, HDMI cable. And this is the power supply. You can give the power supply to the Raspberry Pi board from this port. And this is the display. The display for the Raspberry Pi starts from 3.5 inch to bigger one as much you want. So if you want to have the display with touch, then the 3.5 inch display can be available in the market, which can be found around 1100. You can just install in it, and you would have the touch and display, and it can be work as your mini tab or mini computer. And similarly, we have 40 pins, which consist of GPIO, ground pins, and different pins. We'll talk about later. This is the heatsink. Why heatsink is used? During the processing, a lot of heat is generated. So to absorb that heat, heatsink is used. Beside of heatsinks, we also use the fan to cooling fan to cool our processor. And this is the RAM. This can be available in 2 GB, 4 GB, 8 GB according to your need. Now let's look on the
दीपक सर वो पर शेयरिंग योर एंटायर स्क्रीन का रहा ना, उसको हाइड कर दीजिए.
Okay, what did you tell? Your entire screen. Okay, sorry. Yeah, now is it okay?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we are going to talk about the pins of the Raspberry Pi board. Suppose you want to work on the robotics project, then you need to connect your motors, your LED, your relay board, and all the robotics stuff to the pins. So we need to know about what type of pins are available in the Raspberry Pi board. First of all, we talk about the power pins. The power pins, there are total 4 power pins. 2 is of high volt and 2 is of 3.3 volt. If you need to connect your project, if you need to give the power supply to your project, then you can give the power supply directly from here. And we have 8 ground pins. We can give the ground connection to our projects from here. And similarly, we have 27 GPIO pins. General purpose input output pin. You can connect your sensor, LED, relay, all type of robotic stuff with this GPIO pins to give the signal input and output. And these two 14 number pin and 15 number pin are the transmission pin, and receiving pin, the RX and TX pin. You can connect other boards such as Arduino, and you can do the communications with other board through this pin. And if you talk about the GPIO 18 pin, then pulse code modulations for high quality audio, you can connect with this pin. So there are lots of pin, and every pin have different uses. So I have given you the link pinout.xyz, so you can just click on that link and just you can know about different pins. Till now, if you have any doubt, then you can ask.
Sir, that you were telling about the general purpose input output. So
Yeah.
do all of these pins serve the same purpose? Like all the different any component can be connected to any GP pin, or there is a specification for each one?
No. There are, suppose if you talk about the PCM pin, then this convert into analog signal. So in any project, if you need the analog input output, then you have to connect with the PCM pin. And here is the link. in which you can find that for which pin we can have the different purpose of uses.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Now, let's talk about our first and small tiny project connecting our LED with the Raspberry Pi. For that, what we need to do, the LED have two terminals, one negative and one positive terminal. And the negative terminal will be connected with the ground pin of the Raspberry Pi with 1K ohm resistor. Why we use resistor? If you connect it directly, then after some time our LED will be damaged. So it is recommended to use the resistor. And we will connect the positive terminal of our LED to the GPIO pin. And we have to define in the program that we are going to use this pin for this purpose. And now, if you talk about the motors with Raspberry, how to connect our motors, DC motors with the Raspberry Pi, then here is the diagram. For connecting motors, we need the motor driver, that is L298N motor driver. In that motor driver, we need to give the external power supply. And if we give the external power supply, then we have to keep one thing in mind, that the ground should be common. The ground of our motor driver and the ground of Raspberry Pi should be common, and the digital pin will be connected. The digital pin for the motors, that is one for high, one for low, should be connected to the motor driver, and the ground should be and the ground pin also should be connected with the motor driver. And here we can give the connection through to our motor with this output pin. And now let's connect our sensor with the Raspberry Pi. The connection is same as earlier discussed. We have to connect the VCC with the 5-volt power supply and the ground with the ground pin, and the trig with the trig pin. We have to define these pins, that we are going to use this pin as a trig and this pin as an echo in the program. And what is recommended in the echo pin to, we can use the register over here. If you do not use the register, then we will not get the accurate output. So it is recommended to use the register over here. We can use our RPi as a computer. We have discussed it earlier also. For making your RPi as a computer, to use RPi as your computer, what you need to do, you need to go in Raspberry Pi org and download the operating system which you want to install and make it bootable through Rufus or any other sources. And after making it bootable, just keep this memory card in the back of Raspberry Pi board, and you need to, for the display, you need to connect your monitor with the HDMI port for internet through that Ethernet cable, and your keyboard or mouse like that. Then you can use this Raspberry Pi as your computer. You can prepare your computer in 1.4 to 5,000 baud. Now, this is the some cool Raspberry Pi projects, and first one is RPi Mini Laptop. What you need to do, you need to have a screen and you need to connect it with the Raspberry Pi and connect your stuffs, that is keyboard, mouse, and you can use it as your laptop. And this is AI air-based guitar. This guy do not have guitar in reality, but what he, due to help of OpenCV, by the help of OpenCV, he is moving his hand in the air, and the gesture is recorded, and the MP3 is played. And by the playing of MP3, it will just create a sound like guitar. That the guitar sound is just recorded, and when he moved the hand, that MP3 will play and the guitar effect will be created. And we can use our RPi as a Wi-Fi extender also. Suppose you are far behind from your Wi-Fi network, you are getting the bad Wi-Fi network, then you can use your old Raspberry Pi into Wi-Fi extender and you can have a great surfing speed. And now this is the Wally and Eva robot. We can make this Wally and Eva robot by the use of Raspberry Pi board, and we are also working on the Wally robot. Let's look out the Wally robot video which we are working on.
Wally, look down. Wally, look straight. Wally, look up. Wally, look straight. Hello, Wally. Wally, wake up. Wally, cool down.
Warning.
Now, as you have seen that we can get the camera output direct into our mobile, and we can control the Wally through our mobile, through our voice, and these all type of projects. So interesting projects can be made by the Raspberry Pi. And now we came to our general applications, that is video doorbell. What this project does, when you came near the camera, it will trigger out, and it will call the owner, and it will ask to open the door. If you press on the button, then your door will open. This is the health monitoring system. Health of the patient, such as blood pressure, temperature, all the things can be monitored by using the Raspberry Pi. And the main thing is that you can get the feedback anywhere in the world if your Raspberry Pi board is connected with internet. Now you can make your 3D printer with the Raspberry Pi board, and we can make our 3D printer with Arduino UNO also, but for more accuracy and more faster speed, we can use the Raspberry Pi board. And now this is AI-based thermometer. When you go in the arrival of any airport, when you go in the arrival of airport, then you might have seen that there is the thermal imaging machine. What it does, when you came near it, it will take your thermal image, and it will just give the temperature. Your temperature is this, and if your temperature is below threshold, then it will allow you to go. If your temperature is above the threshold, then it detect and just to tell you that you have such temperature above this, and it will restrict you. And now let's dive inside the Raspberry Pi. That is the programming part, most awaiting part, and I am handing over to Anurag. Before handling, if you have any doubts, then you can ask. In hardware part, if you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we can go in the programming part. If you don't have any doubt, then we'll move further. Anurag?
Yeah, so there are a few questions in the chat box. Maybe you can have a look at it.
Okay. Just I'm not able to get that screen. Just wait. Okay. Maximum input voltage of RPi. The recommended voltage is 5 volt, but it can take, it has a voltage regulator, it can take up to the 12 volt also. As in Arduino Mega board you have seen, the recommended voltage is 5 volt, but it can take input up to 12 volt, as it have voltage regulator. Guys, will be continuing. Oh. Sometime. Which Raspberry Pi is recommended for the beginners? If you talk about the Raspberry Pi, then you can use the Raspberry Pi 4B board, because it had lots of things developed, so you can use it. And you can use Raspberry Pi Zero also, but it is recommended to use Raspberry Pi 4 because it is the latest version and it has lots of things pre-installed in it. Any more questions? Hello? Yeah, Anurag, exactly. Okay, any more questions? If you don't have any questions, then we'll go in the programming part. Anurag, should I start the presentation?
Yeah. Yes, so now that Deepak Shah sir has given a very beautiful presentation about the projects and the things you can make with the Raspberry Pi. So now as an engineer, our job is to make such products using a Raspberry Pi. So we have to dive inside of the Raspberry Pi, have an understanding of how it functions and explore into the coding part and all that stuff. So basically, Raspberry Pi is a computer, is a miniaturized computer. So most of the things that you are able to do on your PC, you can do it on your you can do it on your Raspberry Pi. So the first thing is Raspberry Pi can be used as a computer, and for a computer, the Raspberry Pi is the processing unit or the housing unit where you can connect your uh, all the interfaces and keyboard, mouse, and sensors, etc. And to have a GUI interface, you need to connect a monitor. And it is not possible to have a monitor every time you are around some project. So for that, what we do is usually code the Raspberry Pi by connecting it through our personal computer or a laptop or something, and then you can code on it and set up your Raspberry Pi, and you can make some awesome projects. So we will be talking about 2 or 3 such tools which will help you to get through all the stuff that you need to do on Raspberry Pi. The first one is SSH. So it stands for Secure Socket Shell, and it's a protocol which which allows the user to connect between 2 computers. So it provides a secure transfer protocol, and then once connected, you can use your Raspberry Pi directly from the computer. Next slide. So here is a beautiful illustration of how the entire thing works. If you are interested in it, we will be providing a doc after the session, and you can explore what exactly SSH is. Some of you might be already aware with the GitHub uses SSH to provide you the repo. So what it does is there is some keys, and they are matched between the server and your computer. In case of the Raspberry Pi and our computer. So this is all about SSH. And next slide. Deepak sir. Yeah. So functions that SSH enables. So once you are connected through SSH, we will be showing just after this explanation of how to do this. So once you are connected with the SSH, you can transfer the files. You can have a control over control over the terminal, the Linux terminal of the Raspberry Pi. And if you are connected over a large network, for example, there are 2 or 3 laptop or personal computers, and there are 2 or 3 Raspberry Pi, which are connected over a network. Then you can securely manage this network infrastructure amongst those components. Next slide. And now this terminal thing. Yeah, so this terminal thing, that is very, many people are not comfortable with it. So it is best to have a GUI interface. So it will be very nice to have something that you are that you can use it on your computer, and you can have a GUI access to your Raspberry Pi. So the slide represents how the Raspberry Pi actually looks when you have connected it to the monitor. So VNC is a client or a software that allows us to access the GUI interface of the Raspberry Pi. Next slide. How to do? So I'll be giving an example, or I'll be illustrating how to do that stuff. So basically, you first connect through the SSH, and then you enable your VNC, and then you are good to go. We will be doing it in a moment. Next slide. And since these all stuff, you will be doing it on hardware. This is recommended for those who have hardware. So what if you don't currently have hardware and you want to try it out first? and then get a Raspberry Pi. So what you can do is that Raspberry Pi has a desktop version. The Raspberry Pi OS has a desktop version which is available on its site. We will be giving the link in a doc, and then you can install it on a virtual box and on a virtual machine, and then you can play around it and do some projects on it, and you can explore. And if you are comfortable with, if you think your project is gonna require this Raspberry Pi and you are good to go, then you can switch to a hardware part actually. So is there any doubt till now about SSH or VNC? Hello?
आ रही आवाज आ रही।
Yeah. Is there any doubt or shall I proceed?
No, there are no doubts. You can proceed further.
Okay, so Deepak Sasa, you can stop presenting. Yeah, I'll be demonstrating this how to use SSH and VNC. Yeah. So before that, let us have a cool video of what are the possible things you can do with a Raspberry Pi, and it is a particular video that you can use the Raspberry Pi to actually mine the Bitcoins. I'm not aware of how that is done, but I found a cool video on internet, so it will be best to share it with you. Yeah, so is the YouTube screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Raspberry Pi. I'm going to do the same thing with these, but I'm going to mount them, I think, to something else totally different to get them away from the pods so they can breathe a little bit better. As you can see, each Pi has its own fan. These are actually cases for the pods. Then I separate them with standoffs. Did that with both of them. And as you can see over here, these are actually fans.
yeah, so there are 8 Raspberry Pi, and these are cascaded and utilized to mine the Bitcoins. And I don't know how that actually works, but it is a cool stuff to try if you have around 50,000 or 60,000. Yeah. So now I'll be moving on to this SSH and VNC. So can anyone confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, so you can actually use the RPi as a laptop, but the thing is, usually what we require from a laptop is that processing power isn't contained in the RPi. So you can always have some NVIDIA Jetson Nano or something like that to tinker around with. Yeah, so first of all, let me tell you something that this SSH and VNC part that I'll be covering is if you are not comfortable with it or have any doubt, so it is for the people who have the hardware part. So, and the concept utilized will be used in a software part as well. Yes, because it can make calls, you need to have some GSM module with it. So what it enables is that it uses a GSM SIM, and then you can make calls over it. There is Wi-Fi connectivity over it, so you can try it that way too. So I'll be moving on to SSH and VNC. Yeah. So SSH is a protocol, and now you can see here there is a PuTTY. This is a client that enables us to use SSH. Please Forgive me for this awkward desktop. So this is putty configuration. Now you will be given link on how to install this. This is a simple, just you have to download the .exe file and you can install it. There will be YouTube videos on how to do that. Now, once you have this putty installed in your computer, now these are the things you do not need to worry about for now. And as you can see here, there's this host name or IP address. This will be IP address of the Raspberry Pi that we are going to be used. Now, connection type, I have told you that we will be using SSH to connect with the Raspberry Pi. And you can see here, there is this Ethernet. So I have connected my Raspberry Pi through an Ethernet cable. And since there are only two computers on this network, one is my Raspberry Pi and one is my computer, there is no internet access to the Raspberry Pi available. Yeah. So now what you will be doing is you will first obtain the IP address of the Raspberry Pi somehow. There are multiple ways to do that. One is refer to the product description that you will be obtaining once you have bought this Pi. There will be different IP addresses written on it. And if you don't have that somehow, you can always connect the RPi to a monitor and then obtain the IP address. So the IP address through Ethernet of my Raspberry Pi is this. I have found it. I have extracted it in the previously. So what I'll be doing is just copying and pasting it. The port is 22 by default. This is SSH. The rest of the things you do not need to worry about. And to reiterate, what the whole purpose of this thing is to connect my Raspberry Pi through the computer. Now, once you are the putty will reopen or open another window, and it will ask for the username. So the username of my Raspberry Pi is Pi, and it is password protected. So I'll be entering my password, and once you are connected with it, it will show some things like this, and this is the IP address of my Raspberry Pi, and it also contains information about what is the last login and all that stuff. Now, the importance of this thing, the window that you are seeing right now in your PC, on the screen. So this enables you directly to interact with the terminal of Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi is based on Linux, and it has this terminal that is Debian based and Debian based, and you can directly use your terminal through this computer. The putty enables you to do that. So if I want to ensure that there is access to the Raspberry Pi, we can type some commands, and this basically lists all the directories that are in your Raspberry Pi. So are there any doubts till now? Till SSH part? Hello? Hello?
Yes, you are audible, Anurag.
Yeah. So is SSH clear on how to do this thing? Yeah, okay. So I'll be moving on to now the VNC. So this is the Linux terminal you are experiencing right in front of you. And now you want to have a GUI interface. It is not possible to, it is not comfortable to tinker around with the terminal every time. So there is this another software, VNC Viewer, which will be used to have a GUI interface while you are on your PC to control the Raspberry Pi. So it is the same IP address you can see here. So you will have to, if you are using the VNC, it is a software by Real VNC, and it enables you to connect to have a GUI access to the Raspberry Pi. So you, if it is your first time connecting the Raspberry Pi, you enter your address here. I have connected it before, so I can safely go ahead. Yeah. So this is exactly how your Raspberry Pi looks. It is a Raspberry Pi OS, and yeah. So VNC, I think it is straightforward, and there might not be many issues. So I'll be moving on to exploring the Raspberry Pi. So here it is, the terminal of the Raspberry Pi. Sorry, I clicked it twice. Huh. So it is same as many of you might have tinkered with the Linux part, the Linux OS. And this is the terminal. And by default, since Raspberry Pi is Linux based, so you can use all the Linux command here. And you can, there are a few exclusive Raspberry Pi based commands. So we will be doing that in a while. Before communicating with the terminal, there is this thing you need to worry about. For example, how is the Raspberry Pi configured? Yeah, so you go to preferences, you go to Raspberry Pi configuration. This will open up a window. There will be things like you can change your password, what is the username of, what is the host name. And there are few things which it depends upon what is the purpose of your project, and you can switch on and off. There is display. If you are connecting to a monitor, you can have these settings here. The most important thing is interfaces. So once your Raspberry Pi is a multi-purpose tool. It can be used as a computer. It can be used as a standalone computer. And also it has various ports. Like there is a camera, there is serial port, and there are GPIO pins, as Deepak Sasar has explained earlier. So it allows you to enable or disable these interfaces. For example, if you don't want to use the camera port, then you can disable it. For SSH, even though it is a secure network, there might be times when you have this, there is a possibility that anyone can connect through SSH to your Raspberry Pi if your password is weak or something like that. So you can disable this by going here. You can disable, and no one can connect to your Raspberry Pi now. So you can enable or disable all the interfaces here. There is this performance. You can allocate the GPU memory and all that stuff. These are things not to worry about. It is just for information only. Yeah. So this is how you configure your Raspberry Pi. And now we'll be heading to the terminal. So as I explained, the basic Linux commands are already available. So I'll be just demonstrating a few very trivial commands. And we will be providing a cheat sheet where you can refer all the Linux command as well as the Raspberry Pi commands. And you can explore more. Yeah. So the very trivial commands are ls, which lists all the directories that I have. And suppose I want to navigate to some directory. So we can do that by cd. For example, I want to go to this desktop. So I am in desktop, and now I can list whatever is present in this. So there are, as you can see, there is this folder code, and there is a picture xyz.jpg. And there are a few more commands like pwd, print working directory, and it basically prints your directory. So many of you might be familiar with all that stuff. And one more thing I'll be talking about is how to make a blank file. So there is a touch command, and for example, gst.txt. So it will create a blank text file. And this is basically to give you a taste of how to use the command line to do your work. And you can also make a directory and all that stuff. Yeah. So one more command I would like to talk about is Raspberry Pi configuration. Yeah. So when you run this command, this will actually give you a screen where all that things that you were able to do in the Raspberry Pi configuration window, there is all that stuff enabled here. So for example, if I click on the interface options, you have seen that there was camera, SSH, VNC, SPI, and all that stuff. So that thing is available here too. So is there any doubt or something till now?
No, Anurag, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so actually, Arif, this interface is enabled, but camera will be activated only if you have camera. Yeah, so yeah, so there are a few Raspberry Pi specific commands, and one is this sudo Raspberry Pi config. If you are wondering what sudo is, it is something similar to administrator on your Windows. Yeah. So the next stuff is how to code on a Raspberry Pi. So for that, you have, if you go there, there are a lot of beautiful things here. For example, if you want to program in Java, there are a lot of IDEs which are provided by default in the Raspberry Pi OS. There is LibreOffice enabled. So there is this web browser and all that stuff. Yeah. So for programming, we will be heading to this Thorny Python IDE. And yeah. So this is a basic template of a blinking and LED program, the classical one. So I'll be explaining it on how to do it. Basically, you can understand it in this way, that your Raspberry Pi is a miniaturized computer. So whatever you can do on your computer, you can do most of the things on your Raspberry Pi. Yeah. So, for example, if this was a Visual Studio Code on your computer, so what you will be doing is, if you want to perform a particular task, so you will need to import some libraries and all that stuff. My goal here is to connect our pin to connect an LED to a Raspberry Pi, and then controlling it. Like my particular goal is to make it blink. So for that, we will import, like I am considering most of the people, like all of the people are comfortable with Python. And this is pretty basic stuff. So this rpi.gpio, Deepak sir has mentioned that there are GPIO pins. There are 40 GPIO pins available in the RPI. So for dealing with that, there is this rpi.gpio package. We will be importing it as in the name as GPIO. And then we will be importing from time the particular module sleep, so that we are able to interrupt the functioning in between, to make the LED blink. Actually, we will be giving the warnings to false. It is an optional line, you can ignore it. And now the board, there are 40 pins. So there are multiple ways into which a particular pin can be referred. For example, if there is the third pin, so it can be represented as pin 3, or if there is particular role assigned to it. For example, if it is a RX pin, so there are various naming conventions. For example, you have IUPAC in chemistry. So this GPIO.board, it basically represents a naming convention. And now you will be setting up your pin. So you have connected your LED to the pin 3. You declare that the pin is in output mode. Remember that in Raspberry Pi, same pin can be used as input as well as output. And you will be assigning it a low value. So there can be two values possible, low or high. The pins are usually digital in the Raspberry Pi, except a few pins. Now you will be reiterating over it as long as the program proceeds. So first you will be giving the output to pin 3 and set it to high, so that your LED is on. And this is just a print statement. And then you will be asking your Raspberry Pi to sleep for 1 second. This parameter is passed in seconds, so you need to keep that in mind. And then you will be giving the third pin, the pin to which the LED is connected, a low output, and then you will wait for a 1 second again. So if I run this command, currently I cannot show you the the LED blinking. Yeah, so just a minute. So that is why I have given this print statement, so that you can know there are packages imported, and the thing is working fine. Okay. Any doubt till here? Hello.
Anurag, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So our event is based on computer vision. Yeah. So now I'll be using this my Raspberry Pi to click a picture of my desktop. Yeah. So I'll be going to this directory code. This is here. Yeah. There are two files there. And to operate this camera, I have a camera connected to my Raspberry Pi at the moment. And to operate this camera, the command is sudo raspi still -o and whatever name you want to give. For example, I want to give this robo.jpg. So just a moment. Yeah, so it takes some time to capture the image, and now if I proceed to this folder, there is robo.jpg created, and as you can see, this is the my laptop right now. So this is how you usually control a camera from the command line. Obviously, you can import libraries like PyCamera and OpenCV, and you can work on the Thonny Python IDE as well. And also you can have a video recorded. So right now I'm just skipping it. So till now, is there any doubt about the hardware part? So I think it was pretty clear. So this was, yeah, that IDE is pre-installed. You will be installing this Raspberry Pi OS, and the IDE is coming pre-installed. And if you want to have another IDE, you can always install it from the terminal, like you install Python. And yeah, there is Chromium browser. If you want to have a look at it, there is a Chromium browser. Just a minute. Yeah, here is this Chromium web browser. There is VNC viewer, and there is a mailing client as well. And there is this games as well. So let us have a look at it to see what Boeing is. Okay. So yeah, you can do whatever you want on this. The only limitation is the processing power or something. Yeah. Anything else you would like to ask about? Yeah, actually, you can also make a Minecraft server on it, and you can build a like an ad remover. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The last part I would like to talk about is it is not always if you want to explore RPi, first it is not necessary that you should buy RPi first. For example, if you want to know whether the particular project requires Raspberry Pi or not, so the best way to do that is first get familiar with the what is the interface, like what operating system is Raspberry Pi working on and all that stuff. So what I have done is I have installed this VirtualBox. If anyone doesn't know about VirtualBox, I think all of you might be aware of what it is. It is a virtual machine onto which we can install operating systems and without dual booting. Yeah, you can explore more about virtual machines. So I have these two virtual machines installed on my system. There is one Ubuntu and there is Raspberry Pi OS. And how to do this, that will be, I'll be sharing a doc which will have all this information, like whatever I have covered from starting till now. And once you start this Raspberry Pi OS, it will take some time. So this particular thing is not connect. This is not actually my Raspberry Pi, but as you can see, yeah. So these two particular screens are almost like there is this wallpaper change, but the rest of the things are similar. So if you don't have an RPi and you want to explore about a Raspberry Pi, its interface and all that stuff, so you can always have this virtual box and install the Raspberry Pi desktop OS. Remember to install the desktop OS, not the board one. Yeah. There's one thing I would like to tell that not all things are enabled in this Raspberry Pi desktop. There are certain limitations. For example, if you go to interfaces here, there is only SSH available because there is no external camera port available on my laptop. There is this webcam, but Raspberry Pi particularly enables only that camera part. Yeah, the camera pin that is available on. And if you look here, yeah. If I go to my Raspberry Pi configuration, and here are all that stuff. So this window is particularly my actual Raspberry Pi, and this is the one that I have installed in my virtual box. Yeah. So I think that is all from my side. Yeah. And if you want to have a look at it, what amazing things you can do, I'll be like, this is just a YouTube video, but I would be more than happy to share it. This is a autonomous RC car. Yeah, so let's have I'll share my tab actually. Yeah. Yes, it is a lighter distro. Ubuntu has a equivalent Ubuntu Mate for the Raspberry Pi. Yeah, so is the screen visible? Is the YouTube screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll be playing it now. Let me mute myself. Is the audio like there is
Yes,
audio, right?
we can hear it.
Yes, it's clear.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So is there something you would like to ask? No, Arif, actually it wasn't using the IR sensors. the whole point is to use your camera and to analyze features from it and then make decisions. You can do that using IR as well. And there is also something called LiDAR sensor, light detection and ranging, analogous to radio detection and ranging radar. So you can use that as well. If you want to explore more about the self-driving cars, it's a booming field actually. Yeah, SLAM. So it stands for simultaneous localization and mapping. So it itself is a big field, and it allows to build autonomous robots. For example, you just put a robot into mid of nowhere, and it has you have built its intelligence to move around in a space. Yeah, so the basic meaning is it will create a map of its environments and move at the same time. Anything else you would like to know about the Raspberry Pi or computer vision in particular, or anything else?
Can you share some source regarding installation and of the
Yeah. So
virtual box?
let me just share a doc with you. So yeah, just a minute. Yeah, it's already there. So there are some references on whatever I have today discussed in this session, and if you would like to explore more, because the thing is, robotronics is a multidisciplinary field. The majority part of it is on software industry, and there is sensor interfacing, so the electrical comes, and there are limbs, etc. The locomotion part, there is mechanical engineering. So all that fields come together, and you build a beautiful product. So that is the entire goal of this robotronics field. Yeah, and you can always discuss if you have some cool project ideas and you want to work on it with some of your friends. You can always discuss in the Discord channel, and the club will be more than happy to help you. So yeah, thanks, Kishan. And one thing, like if you want to have access to this RPi and you want to access it from your home, so there is this client called NGRock, and you can have access to that too. So yeah. No, Ujjwal, you won't be needing the hardware RPi. You can do it on your PC. And so about the beginner projects, uh, you can always start something on your own, and you can get help with the uh, your batchmates. Yeah, and the first thing is to get acquainted with this stuff. You usually you don't directly work on hardware. You do some simulation or all that stuff. So that is all from our side. If you have any more queries, you can always ping in the Robotronics channel, Discord channel. तो conclude करें सर, दीपक सर.
हाँ दीपक सर रिकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप कर दो.
Okay.